Breaking news, a pursuit ends in a deadly crash. It happened in Long Beach. Police were chasing a wrong-way driver when they slammed into other cars. At least 9 cars wrecked and 1 person was killed. It all happened at PCH and 2nd Street on the south side of Long Beach. KCAL News reporter Lori Perez is live on scene now with late-breaking information tonight. Lori?
And Pat, I'm actually going to turn it over. A representative from the Seal Beach Police Department just showed up, and she's going to give a little press conference giving the information. So I'm going to toss it over to that at this moment.
She did a traffic stop for a California Vehicle Code violation in the area of PCH and 5th Street. After contacting the female driver of the vehicle, the officer returned to his vehicle, noticed that the female driver had switched seats with her male passenger. The male passenger was now driving the vehicle. The vehicle took off at a high rate of speed and a pursuit was initiated. The pursuit ultimately ended up back on PCH after a short route through our Old Town area. From about the area of 5th and PCH to Studebaker and PCH, the driver was driving the wrong way on PCH, driving northbound in the southbound lanes, and then moved back over into the northbound lanes. In the area of PCH and 2nd Street in the city of Long Beach, a traffic collision occurred with the suspect vehicle and 8 other vehicles. After the traffic collision, the suspect exited the vehicle and fled on foot. The officer deployed his taser, which was effective in stopping the suspect. He was taken into custody. The suspect was injured during the traffic collision and he was transported. The female passenger was injured during the traffic collision. She was transported. They also had an infant child in the car who was transported to the hospital for evaluation. In addition to those, the suspect, female passenger, and the infant being transported, 6 other occupants of the involved vehicles were transported, and 1 passenger sustained injuries and succumbed to those injuries at the scene and was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Were most of those vehicles parked at the intersection waiting for a light, or have they gone through the light? Do we know? That
information I don't have. All of those vehicles have remained on scene now, but I don't know what their original positioning was.
Do you know speed was obviously a major factor in this since you had so many vehicles involved with so many injuries?
Long Beach Police Department is investigating the traffic collision since it occurred in the city of in LA County. They're here and they can speak to the traffic collision. I don't have information on that.
Is Long Beach the agency that's going to be taking the investigation on your pursuit end, or California Highway Patrol?
The pursuit will be investigated by the Seal Beach Police Department, and the suspect's involvement will be investigated by our Detective Bureau, and the traffic collision will be investigated by Long Beach PD.
You'll be canvassing the area for any surveillance video regarding this, right?
Absolutely.
Ma'am, anybody that might have seen this crash, we're going now into the morning hours. With an area code, what number can they call?
Say that one more time?
Anybody that witnessed this crash maybe can help investigators.
I'm not quite sure who the investigator would be. I would assume that would be with Long Beach PD, so I can defer to them for that. Yes. What's that? LA Crime Stoppers.
Lieutenant, do you know that you were saying it was a passenger that died? Do you know any rough detail of what happened in terms of, like, was it a direct hit or how that was?
I don't believe it was a direct, like a T-bone. I don't believe it was a T-bone type of collision that caused that passenger's injuries, but they ultimately did succumb to those injuries at the scene.
Do you have any other details on the deceased, a male, female, juvenile? Like
female subject in her 60s to 70s.
Anything else to add?
Let's see.
Okay, some stunning information coming out of that press conference there with the Seal Beach representative. Most significantly, that there was a baby in the car that was being pursued. A man and a woman, we're told, in that car, fled from police after a traffic stop. It started in Seal Beach and then ended up here in Long Beach. We're showing you live now where this pileup of cars ended up in the middle of the intersection here. But we do have a lot of video from SkyCal showing a crash involving the 9 cars. It happened again after that pursuit started in Seal Beach and crossed over here into Long Beach. One person was killed. We just heard that was a woman in her 60s or 70s. It looks like it was an innocent person in one of the other cars that crashed just after 8 p.m. 7 other people were hurt. Many, we're told, had to be extricated by firefighters using the jaws of life. 6 were taken to the hospital, including, as we just heard, the baby that was in the car being pursued. Police did take one person into custody. Both a man and a woman who were in that car being pursued were also taken to the hospital. A driver who was part of the collision described a scary situation. I know we do have some sound with that driver.
Car came right in front from the PCH from the other side, and there was a car coming from here and it hit. It was pretty bad. I think that guy was doing at least 80, 90. It's very fast.
And you were at the light?
We were at the light.
Are you injured?
No.
In the meantime, this is a very large scene that is diverting a lot of traffic. In many ways, this was one of the worst places for something like this to happen because of the high volume of traffic that comes through here. Even tonight, just one car after another being turned around. In that sense, it's not surprising that so many cars were involved in the crash. We have not yet heard what exactly led to the collision, of course, beyond the car that was being pursued. But we did not hear whether the cars were going through the traffic light at the time or whether they were stopped. So lots more details, of course, that investigators will have to look for as they continue this investigation. They'll be here for a very long time. This is a very big scene. We're live in Long Beach. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks for that information, Lori.